30 years ago, how did it become a thing that not only would the wrestlers, but the fans, but everybody just act like wrestling is just all this silliness and goofiness, and we should just approach it like it's all a show, and you know, in the process, wreck our entire economy, and then somehow have this offshoot of wrestling called whatever the fuck this is, where they have invisible hand grenades and dance routines in the matches.
You know what? Though?
Popular. Nobody saw this coming. Why would this ever happen? I didn't see Sodom. Look, in 20 years, it might feel differently. Maybe I'm like, hey, Harley, come here, you know.
No, but look at it this way. Nobody saw this coming, and this is what wrestling is now. But there is a void where no one's presenting it seriously. The more it goes in this direction, the better opportunity there is actually to present an alternative product.
Hey, but hold on, cowboy. No, that's what I thought in 2011 and 2010, 2011 with Ring of Honor. I thought it's gotten as silly as it can get, and we can be athletic and competitive and go the other way. But number one, it hadn't gotten nearly as silly. That's what I thought when I opened up Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Well, it's gotten as bad as it's going to get. That was in 1992. It hadn't got as silly as it was going to get in 2010 and 11. It's gotten a lot sillier, and you can't do it. Nobody's going to take this seriously as long as they're seeing all this other stuff. I mean, they take it seriously as a performance. Wow. You know, they take the performance seriously, but they don't take the business seriously. It's like the young wrestlers are not fans of the concept of wrestling. They're fans of the performance of wrestling. So nobody's going to take this seriously again to get numbers like the territories or before the territories were formed had. We've let all the horses out of the stable here now. It's amazing to see that these guys have made something out of the corpse of what wrestling was, but I'm still, you know, not happy with them for desecrating the thing and doing their part to fucking kill it to begin with. So what do? I may go out and trim my dogwood tree some more. Thank God I don't have to do this on a regular fucking basis anymore. I would literally, if I had to watch guys do this on a show that I was booked on and had to be there and needed the job and had to come back and back and back, I would probably have a serious drug or drinking problem or be in jail. When I was on Lawler's podcast here a couple weeks ago, Dinner with the King, and he said that he and Hacksaw Duggan had a match, one of the Legends matches where they'd be partnered with one of the local guys, and they're having this tag team match, and the two guys are in there wrestling, and he said, and all of a sudden, he said they just started moving in slow motion. And he said they did all the spots in slow motion and did the thing, and then suddenly they snapped out of it, and he got back to the locker room, and he said, what in the world, what were you guys doing? And he said one of the guys told him, oh, yeah, with the slow motion spot, the fans just love it when we do that. If somebody had done that in a match that I was involved in, I would have, for a shoot angle, attacked them with my tennis racket. I don't understand how people have got to the point where any of this shit is remotely acceptable. Therefore, I choose not to participate. But it's just insane. And, you know, some of the guys are not as cranky as me and can just scratch their head and giggle about it because they're in the same position. They just do this once in a while. They don't have to depend on it for a source of income anymore, or elsewise they'd probably be beating the fuck out of people too. But I don't care if something becomes a thing. If I know it's wrong, I ain't going to do it, whether it be invisible hand grenades or butt fucking Harley Quinn.
What did Lawler say about the Joey Ryan fireball spot?
Oh, he said I can't do it justice because that was a longer story, but they had contacted him about being there, I guess, at the last minute, and he didn't really know. He didn't know who Joey Ryan was. He knew there was a guy that did a spot with his dick, right? But Jerry does not keep up with, and I'm not saying this for all the Joey Ryan fans to go, okay, now he's saying Lawler didn't know who he was. Jerry don't keep up with a lot of fucking wrestling these days either, except if it involves him, right? So he knew there was a guy that did a dick spot. He didn't know who it was. And they presented that, and I can't remember if I don't even know if he let the whole cat out of the bag on the air, but the point was he was more than fine with taking his payoff and shooting a fireball on the guy that was dressed like Andy Kaufman and walking out without breaking a sweat. I don't know what to tell you. I commended him for at least figuring out a way to work with Joey Ryan and not coming out of it looking bad. But there you go. And I guess he was running very late also and got there late to the building because of some transportation deal or whatever. So he came up with it on the spur of the moment. There's a fitting fucking
modern wrestling.
Modern wrestling. That's why I'm back. I'm over here. I'm fine. I'm going to be out in the yard here shortly trimming my dogwood again if anybody wants to see me. I can't do it. Is that a personal fault? I mean, if I had starving children dependent on me, I guess I should suck it up and work for a fucking wrestling company that has invisible men and fucking, stuffed animals in tag matches or whatever. But I don't have any starving children dependent on me, and I'm not starving. So I can't. I don't know why I should do such a thing.
How about for your next comic book, you do one where you take all these guys, and it's this fantasy scenario where they're locked in like a warehouse with Carl Gotch, Kara Maeda, just all these
Benny Hart.
Yeah.
Fucking